104.7 The K, Mike the Intern in the studio with my good friend Joey, who is part of the upcoming Missouri Comic-Con that's going to be at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds a week from this Saturday, and it's obviously all weekend long next weekend. New venue this year, should be great. But before we get into this, I just want to go down some of the guests of note that you have that I think is just so badass. Randy Quaid, that's really,
Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie. I was in a band called Muzzle. We wrote a song about him from his character with the people eaters, the family, where it's like the cannibal family parents or whatever it was.
Yeah.
We wrote a song about that, and I'm thinking about taking that 7-inch and see if he'll sign that.
You need to, yes.
Be like, hey, man, or you can listen to it if you want it, buddy. Here you go.
Yeah.
It's punk, but here, whatever. Anthony Michael Hall, another big get, I think.
Which we should just put those two together on a Q&A and be like, the lost year of SNL. Just tell us all about what really went down in 85, 86. Yeah.
How did that go? Of course, Riker and Data from Next Gen. Mm-hmm. Armin from DS9.
Yep.
Who was a huge part of that show, and arguably I'm always going to be an original series guy in Next Gen, but DS9, the writing on that show is just phenomenal. If you're a Firefly fan, Alan's going to be here.
Yep.
I literally could just go down the list. Dee Snider, it is.
Is that somebody that might be interesting to your listeners? Dee Snider might appeal to some folks,
which is crazy because it'll be cool to see him. And because he recently they were going to do a big anniversary tour, but because he can't, his doctors are like, he stepped out. Now he's doing this, and then
Sebastian Bach
stepped up to do that, which I think is cool. So. You gotta. People tell me all the time, like, you got a cool job, dude. And I'm like, yes, I do. I'm very lucky. But now I think I'm sitting next to someone that's got probably a cooler job than I do.
I wanted this job, actually. When I was a kid, one of our guests, Scott Ennis, was on the air at, I want to say it was Rock 99 back in the day.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah. I listened to every morning going to school. I was like, man, I want to do radio. And then I got to my first radio class at MSU, and they're like, or SMS at the time, they're like, awesome, I'm glad you're all here. I hope you like sales. And I was like, nope. And walked right out the door.
Real quick.
No good. No
I
sales.
did the same thing, but I was already working in the industry.
Okay.
And when I went, I had changed from SMS to MSU while I was there, it was kind of the same thing. However, they were pushing like the NPR stuff this is how it's done. And I was hey, I don't mean to be that guy here, students, but if you think that this is this industry is already extremely niche.
Yeah.
They are forcing you to learn a even more extremely niche part of this that you're expecting to get involved in, when in reality, that's not realistic.
And you'll be involved for the 2 or 3 years that they open it up to you while you're here, but nothing outside of that.
Then you're gone unless you want to work for free.
Exactly.
But, so then you got involved in this, right?
Yeah. So I started. I wanted to do either radio or I wanted to do like a newspaper writer or a reporter, and didn't appeal to either one of those whenever I actually took the formal education for them, and so. Weird thing, decades later, I had a podcast, wrote for a few websites, and now it just kind of transitioned, actually led into part of what I'm doing here now. So, yeah.
It's, I used, before we started, I said I'm going to try not to fangirl too hard on some of these people. And in what we do, that's kind of difficult sometimes because you got to, when you approach these guys and gals or musicians or comedians, actors, whatever, you kind of have to, try and find a way to connect, but without being like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was my experience for about the first 2 or 3 years, and then it became a job, just like any other job. It's like, who we got? Oh, hey, Dee Snider, cool. That'll be fun. And then you just kind of move on.
It's not that you get desensitized or you underappreciate what you have access to, but again, you really start to realize,
these are people.
You're just like me.
And they are.
You like the same things I do, or don't, or you could be a really cool guy or a really big jerk, just like your neighbor.
When you've got a guest who's getting ready to go up on stage, and they're on the phone because their wife called because the 4 kids are acting up. That I had to take so and so to the football game, and then the other 2 were just running wild. It's like, I've had those same conversations. It doesn't matter that you're a celebrity. Nope. You're dealing with the same thing I am.
And they're treating them just like a job because that's their job.
Absolutely.
As far as the Missouri Comic-Con, in addition to some of the incredible guests that I listed, you also have really cool roundtable discussions, interactive stuff, and the vendors too, man. There's a lot of going on.
Yeah, we've got a ton of vendors. We got free-to-play video gaming, kind of set up our own little arcade area, tabletop gaming. There's local fan groups, so like the local Ghostbusters group's going to be there. They'll bring as big a. We gave them a lot of space, so they can go as vertical as they want to, because we're using the arena for them. But folks will bring out like cars, vehicles from different things. You'll see, I'm sure, the Ecto one, and you'll see like the cars from like Supernatural and a few other things. But yeah, I mean, it's. We like to get people a lot to look at and a lot to do, but we also like to get the community involved. So again, that's why you get like the local fan groups, the Ghostbusters. We have a local, we call it fan panels. What it is panel. We leave panel rooms open. We say, here's the time slot. Send us your applications. What do you guys want to talk about? What can you talk about in front of a group of people for 30 to 45 minutes? Then we go through and we select the ones that we feel like actually have some thought behind them and would be interesting to our crowd. So we try to get the local folks who are fans of this stuff as much as we are as involved as possible. So you might not see the local folks up on the stage, although you will, because we do work with some of our folks as well. But you will find people who are from the area who are genuinely passionate about whatever it is they're a fan of, and they can sit down and talk about it. Some of them like to play trivia games. Those are typically the most well-attended of those little smaller fan panels, because everybody wants to show what they know about a particular topic. So if they're running I think we have a Harry Potter trivia going on. I guarantee you that thing will be packed, because everybody thinks they know. And hopefully they've got some trick questions in there, because I don't want it to be like, hey, it's a 30-way tie for first.
I need my wife in there and see if she can be my ringer.
Exactly.
She's already played. I think she played in every house on that video game, the Hogwarts game, and beat it with every house. So yeah, she'd be my ringer there. That's something else too. I think that I wanted to bring up was the accessibility too through this.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you go to meet and greets, it's kind of. You feel like you're a number,
just
in
another cow in the chute.
And just pump, pump, pump. But I feel like, especially when I experienced this the last time you guys were here, I felt like you guys did a really good job of making it extremely accessible for people who wanted to go and meet whoever they wanted to meet. And then all the guys and gals that you brought in also kind of felt like this was an opportunity. So it wasn't like you didn't get the feeling like these guys were here just to get a paycheck and they're clocking in and they're clocking out. Right. It's like you got to engage, and I think that's really important too.
And part of that is because of who we are. Like, so the company itself, we do about 20 shows a year. Sometimes we hit multiple cities and multiple, in a year. We'll have a couple shows here, a couple shows there, whatever. But, the company's based out of Jackson, Mississippi. I'm local to Springfield. We are smaller market folks, right? And that's what we try to do, is we try to bring the big convention experience like you would see in San Diego, New York, Chicago, all that, to those smaller markets where there's still people who are fans of that but may not be able to get away to the big stuff. And the people that we bring out, the guests, absolutely love coming to our shows. Yes, we know what we're doing, but it's that small or that big small town mentality. Like, people are a little kinder. Things move a little bit of a slower pace. It's not like New York, San Diego, Chicago stuff where it's just like, get through as many people as you can. Yeah. We got a couple of 100,000 people here. We just got to go. We can slow down. We've got tens of thousands of people, so we can take our time a little bit. People can have conversations with, the celebrities or the comic book creators or the cosplay professionals we bring out, and actually engage with people one-on-one. And that is one reason why we have people lining up to get into our shows that we just can't make space for. It's like, we're full, guys. I'm sorry. Maybe next year we can add you to the show, because they love the big small town vibe that happens at our shows. And that is, we try to create that by choosing where we're going to go, but it's everybody, it's the attendees that bring that to the conventions. And that's what people genuinely like about doing these with us in Springfield in particular, is like, this is relaxed. It's fun. I actually make connections with people. I'll hear somebody's story about how much what I did meant to them. I won't get that story in LA, because it's just get through the line as quick as you can. So like I said, it's a little bit slower of a pace, which is good for attendees. You get to meet the people that you're fans of, and it's good for the celebrities. A lot of them work in these vacuums, especially if you're like a voice actor. Yeah. You'll lay down lines for, 4 hours in the booth and then go home, and then a year or two later the game comes out, but you never really get that feedback until you go to an event like this, and where people can fill up your line and tell you how much, hey, you're this. That's what I played after school every day while my parents were going through a divorce, and that got me through it, or whatever it is. The folks that we bring out want to be here, and they genuinely enjoy interacting with the types of people that come to these events.
And I think it's also priced accordingly too.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to spend what you're going to spend at Planet Comic-Con
Right.
or San Diego or whatever. It's priced accordingly to the community too.
Yeah, and that's, part of that again. It goes back to where can you go? What a venue in Springfield is not going to cost what a venue in Chicago is going to cost. The people that are doing shows in San Diego, Chicago, Denver, New York, Seattle, whatever, they do a good job at what they do. And we try to bring as much of that vibe, but we also like to, like I said, slow it down a little bit. This is a smaller market.
Yeah.
We can charge less and still come out of this with enough money to do this again next year, as opposed to yes, we're going to need all your money right up front, and we're going to get you through as quick as you can, and hope you had a good time, and we'll see you next year. Yeah.
And again, I just want to congratulate you on the job well done, because again, as a guy who experienced it for the first time last year, you guys knocked it out of the park. So if you want tickets, get them. MissouriComicCon.com. Joey, thank you so much for coming in the conversation.
Absolutely.
Today,
it's a lot of fun. Thank you.